What is going on, everybody? Liverpool pulled out a big victory today in the first leg of the round of 16 against Sparta Prague away. It was a great win. It really was. We saw a little bit of everything. And for me, the best part about that was how well Darwin Nunez played, man. Darwin Nunez, the two goals that he had were just epic, man. They're the goals that he's been trying since he's come to the club. And he'll hit the post or he's just a little bit off. He'll pull it wide. Today, we saw a beautiful curler from outside the box. Power and precision to beat the keeper. And then the second one, playing it on the half volley, right in the side of the net. It's just absolutely beautiful. Liverpool walk away with a 5-1 victory. And really, we can play our second team, our U18s, against Sparta Prague when it comes down to it in the home leg. I mean, that takes the pressure off of the City match this weekend as well, because I was saying this in my live stream. If we ended up drawing that game, or say we lost, right? We go back home and we're sweating that. We're like, all right, well, damn, when it comes to the second leg, next week, what are we going to do? We really have to play our strongest team. No. 5-1, you go you on the plane ride home, you forget about the match and you prep for City. Salah came back. We saw Szoboszlai get a goal. And honestly, the downside of the match was Konate, right? Konate going down. Gomez subbed off at halftime as well. For me, I'm staying optimistic about the Gomez thing. I didn't hear anything about Gomez. Konate, we saw him go down. I think Konate is the first choice to partner Van Dijk at the back against City. If he is out, if he is injured, we're looking at Kwanzaa. All right. Shout out to Craig. Great result. Absolutely. And Kwanzaa next to Van Dijk, I'm still feeling pretty confident with. Let's just say Gomez is out too, right? Let's say Konate and Gomez are out. We're looking at Kwanzaa, Van Dijk, Bradley, and Robbo. Robbo didn't have a great game today, but that's besides the point. Robbo's going to play. Endo, McAllister look great, and Szoboszlai's back, so that's going to be your starting midfield three going into the City match. And then front three, Salah's back, thank Christ. Darwin Nunez through the middle, and Luis Diaz. Aside from the defense, that's a pretty damn good lineup, man. That's a pretty damn good lineup. So let's take a look at the stats of the match here and let you guys see how we... Whoa, that's not at all what I wanted here. All right. So looking at the stats... All right, possession-wise, Liverpool dominated possession, 63-36. Shots on goal, 11-7. And what I will say about Prague is they had a lot of chances on the counter. They did a really good job of quickly getting through the midfield because they knew if they were pressed, they would lose possession, and then quickly getting the ball through the lines of the defenders or over the top. And they had plenty of chances, right? Several in the first half with those crosses where, either the ball got stuck under the attacker's feet or they just couldn't get their foot on top of it, or Kelleher made a great save, something like that. But I do think they had a lot of chances. Corners, they actually won the corner battle 5-3, and then saves even across the board. If we go to the full stats, probably see a little bit more of the story, but ultimately we're going up against a team that does not, they didn't score. Connor Bradley's the own goal. I forgot about that for a second. No, is that all the stats we got? Nice. And then some ads. But anyways, 5-1 going into the home leg. And goals today from McAllister, Nunez, Diaz, and Szoboszlai. And let me just touch on the Darwin Nunez goals for a minute, because I know I mentioned it at the beginning of the broadcast, but I really do feel like Darwin Nunez is quietly been very consistent and a very real goal threat. I think everyone compares him to the top striker in the league, which is Haaland, right? I mean, Salah is clearly miles above Darwin in terms of production and being clinical in the final third and just overall goals. But the threat that Darwin offers is much different than Mo Salah, I think. We saw today the threat that Darwin offers, and that's the fact that he can shoot from outside the box. No questions asked. He does it all the time. Salah can. He has before, and he scored before. But a lot of Salah's goals come in the box, right? He's in and around the area. He's taking those layoff passes, or he's cutting in from out wide and dribbling past people and scoring, right? His goal today, that layoff from, it wasn't Elliott. Was it Soboslai? Soboslai laid off to him, the one that was ruled out. It's something different, right? The first goal, Darwin cut inside from out wide, curls it. Great goal. Second goal, he's running in behind. He's making that aggressive run in behind the defender, lets the ball fall, and he just rips one. Okay, you're not going to see that a lot from Salah. I feel like Salah would much rather beat you on the ground, right, than try to, take a shot through the air. I feel like he tried to dribble past you and curl it around the keeper. That's just my personal feeling. But seeing that from Darwin today just kind of solidifies everything we've been saying about Darwin. Someone said in our chat, the Darwin hater is going to be mad quiet now. And it's true, because if he missed those chances, you're like, Darwin, he's a flop. No, dude, it's just a matter of time before he starts converting, and he did it today. Let's go over to the chat here. Inspector Gary says, we're too good for the Farmers League competition. It was sexy football, absolutely. Spence says, job done. We could play the kids in the second leg Thursday, rest everyone for the FA Cup against Crap Bastards on the 17th. And what I had mentioned before too, Spence, is this takes the stress away from Man City. If we had lost this match, or it was a struggle of a result, we go back, we carry that with us for the next day or two, and we can't fully mentally prep for the City match, which is the most important league match of the season, zero questions asked. Salah being back, and all of our midfielders being healthy, in the sense McAllister and Soboslai. For me, that's a very strong midfield. That's who is starting. It gives me much more confidence going into City. But we'll have to see what develops with Konate and Gomez going forward. Craig here says, I honestly think we might surprise City and Anfield on Sunday. Darwin is way better than Haaland. He just needs a little bit more time. Could be better than Suarez. So some very bold takes here, right? Statistically not better than Haaland's been. Eye test wise, I mean, Haaland's just great. There's no denying Haaland's great. We're not going to sit here and say Darwin after having a brace saying, he's better than Haaland. But Darwin definitely is good. He's a great attacker, and he is a prolific striker. He's not just a false nine. I mean, he's fast. He can play on the wing. He can cut inside. His dribbling is getting much better. His touch is getting much better. And we know he can shoot. He's a finisher. The man can finish, okay? He has been under a lot of criticism because of the amount of times he's hit the woodwork. He's hit the woodwork way more than the second place person. But aside from that, I think Darwin actually has that gut instinct to finish. And it's coming through now. Suarez is mile clear. Suarez is a different animal. Suarez was just so good when he was here, dude. Suarez, unlike anything I've ever seen. Nunez gives you work rate. That's right. After he scored that first goal, his energy was through the roof. Pressing, winning, won the ball back on a throw-in. And you can just see him. He's like waiting for people are like, what are you doing, bro? And he's just like, I got the ball. I got the ball. He was so amped up that he won it back. And everyone else is just like on a completely different wavelength. He's an animal. Absolute animal. Darwin needs to do this consistently more, and that's the big thing. If he can do it consistently, there's a real problem. And the timing with him playing like this and Salah going into City, it's always set up for a great match, is it not? I mean, Liverpool, City, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I wouldn't go as far as calling Haaland a farmer, Oyvind. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Let's do some player ratings here, okay? Let's start from the top. Darwin, for me, Darwin's getting a 10. Darwin's getting a 10. Brace, didn't hit the woodwork. Great game. He was subbed off. Darwin's getting a 10. Luis Diaz, I'm giving Luis Diaz a 9. Giving Luis Diaz a 9 mainly because he did dribble into some traffic, but he got the goal. He got a goal, so he's getting a 9. Salah, I'm not even going to give Salah a rating. He wasn't on for long enough, but even so, Salah, he was great when he came on. Moving on to the midfield, let's talk about McAllister. I feel like McAllister gets an 8. He's just good with his back to goal. I feel like his timing of his touch and his passes is really good. he has a good sense of when defenders are collapsing on him and when to like just kind of get that touch in, that early touch to get the ball away into the open space. I'm giving McAllister an 8. Who else started in midfield? Good Lord. Endo. Endo had a really weird first half, guys. Endo, like, he got dispossessed like 4 times, but then in the second half, he was completely fine. Let's just give Endo an 8 as well. I mean, the whole team played really well today. Soboslai coming in, he did really well. He's going to get an 8.5 for me just because he was subbed on. And Bobby Clark, let's give him a 7.5. It's pretty decent when he came on. Harvey Elliott. I think Harvey Elliott did really well today. Not super like standoutish, but I'm still going to give Harvey like a 7.5, right? Let's give Harvey a 7.5. Moving on to the defense. I'm giving Robbo like a 6 or a 6.5. I just did not see Robbo's best. I forgot about Gakpo. Jesus. Gakpo, I'll give Gakpo a 7. I feel like he had some good moments, some good take-ons, some good dribbles, but I don't know. He just hasn't been at his best recently. I'm going to give him a 7. But going to Robbo, man, Robbo was off it. Something about Robbo today, just he didn't quite have it. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Gomez, I can't even remember. I feel like Gomez, I'll just give Gomez a 7 because I can't quite remember anything. He had the giveaway right when the game started, but when he was subbed off, that's all I really remember. Konate had some crucial blocks and clearances. I'm going to give Konate an 8 up until he was subbed off. He did have that foul, but really that's the only thing I can think of. Kwanzaa, phenomenal, dude. The kid is great. I'm giving Kwanzaa an 8. 8.5 maybe. I think Kwanzaa is just, he's good. He's also a good dribbler. There were some moments in the game today where he just kind of did some feints, some turns, and just got around people. I mean, he's really good on the ball. Van Dijk subbed on. Let's just give him a 7. Kelleher. I'm giving Kelleher like a 9.5 today, dude. Kelleher was excellent. He really was. He had some crucial saves, a ton of saves with his feet. He had one mistake. He misjudged the flight of a ball and kind of fell down, but his defenders helped him out. He cleared it away. But Kelleher's just good. He knows where to be. And now that he's getting more game time, he's getting a rhythm. He's in the right spots. He's cutting off angles. He had great saves today, 6 saves, I believe. I'm giving him a 9.5. It's awesome. Scary moment for Kelleher, though, when he came down on his back. That was a little nerve-wracking for me. Getting a 9.5 for Kelleher. Connor Bradley, the own goal, bro. I mean, that's just a tough break. It's like your first touch when you come on the pitch. But he didn't really do anything today. Let's give him a 6. Let's give him a 6 for the own goal. Poor kid. Poor kid. I'm giving, and Oyvind, going back to the 7, I didn't see anything from him. He was just there. He had an average game. Let's give him a 7. So Kenny G shares my my feeling about Kelleher with the 9.5. Let's see what everyone else is saying in the chat. Gomez 7 as well. Gakpo 7. What did I end up giving? I think I gave Gakpo a 7, but I'm very generous because we won 5-1. But coming back to the actual play, Gakpo had some good moments, but honestly, Robbo was poor. He was the only poor one. Everybody else was really good. Darwin and Kelleher, for me, are the standout players. Our midfield is just very solid when McAllister and Endo play. McAllister, he's just getting more comfortable in that midfield. He's getting better on the ball. And again, the strength of the opposition needs to be brought into question as well, just because there are times when McAllister's playing with his back to goal and he gives the ball up, right? There are those times, and that's when I'm critical of him. But usually that's when he is playing as the deepest midfielder. When Endo's in there, it takes that pressure off McAllister. McAllister can turn, he can make passes, and he's just his best self. And on to the penalty, by the way, with McAllister. Was not expecting McAllister to take that penalty. I was honestly expecting Darwin to take it. Doesn't matter. McAllister, textbook finish. Let's go over to the chat. Shouldn't the average be 5 to 6? If you win, doesn't that go up? Inspector Gary says Kelleher is the best number 2. Remember the talks of him leaving this summer? Y'all remember that? Remember we were going to ask for 25 to 30 mil for him to go? At the time, it was like, yeah, well, he's not going to get game time with Allison, and rightly so. Allison is injured all the fucking time. He's injured way too much as a keeper. Way too much. Kelleher is an excellent number 2. Imagine if we had to deal with Adrian because we sold Kelleher. Imagine that. This fan base would be in shambles. And when Kelleher went down, I was really worried that it was going to be Adrian having to come in. And, oh, man, that would have just been nuts. Absolutely nuts. Kenny says, we had turnovers in the midfield, and the right wing was killing us. Robbo was getting killed. Robbo was getting demolished by Prochetto, whatever his name was, Prochetto, the Quadrado lookalike. I mean, they had so many chances, didn't they? I mean, I feel like that's where a lot of their corners came from. I seriously don't know how Adrian is still here. I don't know. I have no idea. Sir Oswald said, Allison wants the Kata Cup. It just bothers me how much he's injured. He shouldn't be injured that much. But honestly, extending Adrian might actually be a good call at this point because God forbid Kelleher and Allison get injured, which 2 keepers getting injured, absurd. But just imagine it. You'd want an Adrian as opposed to a Pitaluga, wouldn't you? Right? Isn't he our next one in line, Pitaluga, or maybe the Polish guy? Can't remember I think it starts with an M. But I feel like those are our keepers, are they not? I'd much rather have Adrian. He brings that Premier League experience. See, Shayna, what's going on? Shout out to everyone who's joining us in the chat. Make sure you slap that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Yeah, we got our American Reds checking in, of course. Now, what do you guys think about the starting back line? I don't know if anyone's watched. I doubt we know what's going on with Konate at this point. But what do you guys think is the back line going up against City? Craig Cloak says, Nunez, Endo, Van Dijk, Kelleher, spine for City. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The question is, who's playing next to Van Dijk? No. I'm from Virginia, though. Sir Oswald says, if we lose Kelleher, we are doomed. It would definitely not be ideal. Kelleher is the epitome of a number 2 keeper. I'm honestly amazed he stayed this long because a keeper of his caliber, he could start for a lot of mid-table sides. Don't you guys think? I mean, maybe even higher. He's really good, but the fact is he plays behind Allison. But with Allison being injured so much, and is this not the longest run of games Kelleher has had at Liverpool? It has to be. I mean, because normally he would play in the cup matches, which he was great in, but now he's getting every competition. He's getting that, and that's what's important. So I asked the question about the back line. Konate is playing if he's healthy. But if he's not, I'm not putting Gomez there. I'm putting Kwanzaa. Am I wrong? Tell me I'm wrong. I would put Kwanzaa there over Gomez. When was the last time Gomez played center back? The dude has played left back, right back, CDM, way more than the dude has played center back this year. I trust Kwanzaa more at center back than I do Gomez. That's me. I don't know how anyone else feels. Oyvind says, I want an orangutan instead of Adrian. Good Lord. He's made some really rough errors in the past, for sure. Shayna agrees. Kenny says, it's Robbo, Kwanzaa, Van Dijk, and Bradley. So Bradley starting at right back. Yeah, no, he won't start at center back. I feel like those days are behind Gomez. Stephen Price, what's going on? Great result. I have no idea why Konate was not taken off at halftime when we were 3 up, especially when he was injury prone. Could have just sat back like we're down to 10 men and saved energy. Look, hindsight's 2020. We could have subbed off a lot of people at halftime, but we didn't. And it's a tough call. I mean, it's not like you don't know what the second half's going to bring. You kind of have to feel it out, right? And what were we up at halftime? 3-1. If we were up 4-1 at halftime, maybe you sub off a bunch of players. But the thing is, you have to take into account there is a chance for injuries. So I don't know. It's just tough. There's no winning when it comes to injuries. You can always look at it, well, man, we should have subbed him off given we were up 3-1. And I get that point of view, but it's just one of those things, man. Oh, 3-0 at halftime. That's right. Sorry, guys. And then Connor Bradley coming on for Sparta. What a legend. Conceded. Yeah, conceded is the right word. Inspector Gary says Kwanzaa is a great option to have when we need to give Konate a rest. I think starting Konate and Kwanzaa is the great, that's the only option, right, today. And so the only other option for center backs was to take Konate off at halftime and put Van Dijk on. Or, bold move, which I don't think is ever going to happen again, you take Konate off, put Gomez on, then you have Gomez Kwanzaa, which is a nightmare of a center back pairing, in my opinion. Even though Kwanzaa is good, to me that's a nightmare. And I don't know, I don't like that at all. I really don't like that. But going into City, guys, I'm not even worried about this tie anymore. I'm really not. We can play the U18s. We can give Jaden Dans or Tyler Dan. No, it's Jaden Dans. Jaden Dans a start. We can start Cade Gordon. I almost said his name. Gordon Cade, whatever. Cade Gordon, McConnell, Bobby Clark. We can literally start those guys in the second leg. Strongest 11 out against City. Do it. Win. Demolish City. Okay, I want us to demolish City. Is that going to happen? Probably not. No, probably not. It's going to be a good match. The odds are it's going to end in a draw. But having the strongest 11 available, which we don't, would be ideal. But midfield-wise, we do. Soboslai, Endo, McAllister, at the moment, all available, right? You could argue even if Curtis Jones was healthy, that's your starting three anyway. That's a beautiful starting midfield three. Front line, Salah's back, Darwin and Diaz. Are you kidding? That's a nasty front three. But again, the back line, that's where you get nervous. Really, the defense as a whole makes you a little bit nervous. Oyvind says, I would love a scrappy 1-0 win. Craig, LFC has way more heart than City. We know this, right? But it's a matter of talent. I mean, City are just a very talented team. Kenny G says, Kwanzaa played really well tonight. I agree. He had a great game. Gomez has been a great rotational player for us recently, but Kwanzaa and Van Dijk will still scare City. Those are my starting two if Konate's out. Which if he went off with that injury, which it looked like it, I doubt he plays against City. Inspector Gary says, Gomez finally stopped doing more twerking and more defending. Let's just give Gomez the respect he deserves for a minute, because Steven and I talked about this. He is got to be in the conversation. He's not going to win, obviously, but he's got to be up there with like player of the year. And the reason is because of his versatility. When he was at left back, that's the best I've seen Joe Gomez play in years. Joe Gomez has really, since the beginning of, was it 18-19 or 19-20? He was partnering Van Dijk at the back because Matip was injured, and Gomez looked like a superstar. Then he got injured, right? That was the last time I looked at Gomez and I said, man, this kid is actually really good. Then he gets subbed in at left back, which played left back in like a preseason game under Brendan Rodgers. And he was unbelievable. So good at left back. So good that I'm thinking to myself, Gomez is undroppable. When a player has that type of versatility, left back, CDM, right back, he's got to be in the conversation. Got to be in the conversation, guys. We'll end it here with Inspector Gary. It's going to be a great match. It will be tough, but I believe we'll have enough to win the game. Liverpool 2, Man City 0. Let's hope we can pull that off and stretch that gap at the top of the table. Guys, big win today. Appreciate everyone who tuned in to the match reaction, also the watch along. Hope you guys did enjoy this content. I'm looking forward to this weekend. A lot of content coming to you for the Man City game. But until then, Reds, take care.